Welcome back to Careful Boys. We're very careful boys. Today we're talking about, how do you feel about open relationships? Nick Dunn?
Open relationships? I could ever do one?
Just your general thoughts.
General thoughts. Judge people if you need to.
If I'm being judgmental,
Yes.
I'll do a judgmental side and a non-judgmental side. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Please.
I think from what I've seen from observations,
What have you
being
seen?
judgmental,
Close range observation?
I feel like it takes
close
a
range.
very specific,
5 mile radius?
non-consensual open relationships. Like, I don't want it, but my wife wants it, so you gotta deal with what your wife wants to do. I think it does take a very specific type of person, two specific type of people to be able to have an open relationship. I think it is pretty hard. I don't think I could ever do it.
I wonder the success rate.
I don't think it's that high.
Yeah, because like,
Well, what's the intention, right? Are you trying to
Trying to fuck.
you're trying to fuck, right?
Yeah.
That's what it really
I
comes
almost
down
feel
to.
like that's easier though. If it's open relationship where it's like open fucking versus actual open relationship. I think it's hard to like confide and have like emotional intimacy with like 5 people versus like this is my partner. We both fuck around and we come back to each other because it's physical. I feel like that's easier because everyone else is like technically masturbation, but just with the other humans.
Yeah.
But then here is like our
we love each other.
soulmate or whatever.
Yeah, we love each other.
how do you find the time?
That's the other side of the equation too.
You always find time for things you love doing.
Because even in polygamous, right? Like when you watch those shows with
My shoes.
when you watch those like polygamous shows, right?
Yeah.
The husband looks fucking drained. Like he's never sleeping. And then all the wives are fighting for attention, and then like he wants, he gets to sleep with this one, but then they're just sleeping and cuddling, like they're not banging every night. And then like
Valentine's Day's got to buy a flower store, dude.
This guy's going broke. I think it's for rich people sometimes too.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like,
you definitely have to have a form of
or a
privilege.
farmer. Maybe it's for a farmer.
Farmer with a lot of resources.
He's farming tulips and shit.
He's rich in resources, rich in time as well too.
Vagina.
You want to know
Swimming in it.
I guess this would be like a preconceived or like bad stereotype I have about it, is only because I've seen this. Like you said, it takes 2 people that have that unique thing where they both want to do it.
Yeah.
But I've seen too many situations where dudes be talking their girl into doing it and making them think that they also wanted it.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, right?
It's like the manipulation.
I've seen the opposite.
And that shit.
Yeah.
The girl makes the guy.
And we know someone
That's tough.
like that, not to name names, but she is the one that convinced her husband at the time to have an open relationship.
Which Jill would convince me.
But
Plant it in your head.
we all knew that she's already had the relationship. That's why she was living with the guilt and convinced of the open relationship so she could freely have her boyfriend.
Right.
Went off to Europe, lived with her boyfriend while her husband was paying for the trip.
So she's trying to get a receipt for something she already stole.
Basically.
Oh my God.
That's so good. Then
This guy's good.
he's like, well, fuck it. And he's acting out on it. And then she gets jealous, comes back, and then wants a divorce, all this stuff. They get a divorce. And then, her husband, or ex-husband, just kind of, goes single. And then he actually finds a genuine relationship. And she gets extremely jealous because her boyfriend leaves her and she's all single and all this stuff. And
He
then,
might have been like the best thing that ever happened to her, but she fucked it all away.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? Because I think the grass is always greener, right? You think it's, oh man, I'm gonna be able to find someone out there, and then once you start going through the motions of that, you realize like, oh, what I had at home was actually way more ideal. Because it's also, I think, the grass is greener where you water it too, right? Like if you put time and effort into that relationship, that's when it gets the ideal relationship that you're looking for versus, oh, I could just go get it out there. But I haven't been in that situation. My wife fucks around a lot, and she's out there searching, dude.
Yeah.
It was this one guy was talking about that, right? And then he was like, where a lot of guys fuck up is like they're trying to fill up that 10% that they're missing in their relationship with this other person because she'll have the 10%. because he'll like take for granted the 90% that he's getting fulfilled from his current wife. So he leaves the 90% and the children and everything and that to fulfill that 10%, and he looks back like, fuck, I had it so good.
I messed
Why
up.
were people raised with guilt? I was raised with so much soul-crushing guilt.
Yeah, for real.
There's no way I could even think about opening my relationship up, first of all. Second of all, I probably couldn't even get hard if I was with some chick. Because I'd be so fucking thinking about Nikki the whole time and how I'm
Too
fucking
sad.
betraying her. Yeah.
I think it's not so much guilt, but I think it's the lack of discipline, and their impulses are stronger than their guilts. So like, for example, I think a lot of people do feel guilt after the fact they do it.
They talk themselves into it.
But it's like a kid that loves chocolate. They'll cry while they like went into the chocolate jar.
It's like the dog who's so full
couldn't
of chocolate,
resist.
they're on the ground and they're like, oh, fuck.
I think their level of whatever it is, the need to.
They might also see it as a form of liberation too, because like like when you grow up and you're like, fuck all I've been doing is what my parents fucking want, and then you have guilt when you're doing what your parents don't want you to do, but then you finally do it and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm my own person. So I could see that too, where they're like, my whole life I've been told to do this, but I've always been feeling this way, and then so when they go and they do it, they might actually feel like, I'm free for once.
I think it's great when you find the example of two people that both really like it.
But I never found nobody
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I don't know any
No,
situations where it's always like
doesn't
one
have some sort of
person's
complication.
convincing the other
That's the
person.
hard part. I think
I always see it on Vice.
Oh, yeah.
I see it on
and
Vice.
Vox.
Yeah, it's like a bunch. It's like some couple. Everyone has tattoos, a lot of tattoos, and they're like, yeah, it's great actually. It's fucking awesome and shit. And like, but
Right, honey? Right?
Yeah.
Shannon Boodram, she has an open relationship that she never acted out on.
Yep.
But their policy at home is both of them can be open, and both of them have not acted on
I
it.
think that happens a lot though too, because it's like if you have that free pass and you have that ability to do so, you almost don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But isn't that weird too? It's like, so like, say I'm at JK or whatever, and then there's some chick or something, and then I already know I have an open relationship with Nikki, and then but like I haven't used it yet. But then like tonight she's like, hey, where are you at? And I'm like, oh, like there's this cool chick at JK. We're gonna go get dinner.
Yeah.
Right. It's weird. Also, I also feel like it's like
But
psychological denial though too.
But that does work in the situation where if Nikki was the kind of girl that thought it was hot to think of you with another girl,
She's a
that's
cup.
where it's like, oh, that's
Nikki's a
cool.
cup.
Oh, it only works if the person's a cup.
That's what I mean.
right.
Like, there are couples that like the idea of their mate with another person.
Getting
Yeah,
raped.
right,
Yeah,
right.
just getting real.
I actually had a open relationship like situation where it was just like, yeah, we just don't talk about whatever, but it only worked because there was no love in the relationship.
Right.
It was a very convenient relationship it was more like a roommate situation where we're friends that fuck, right? So then
There's no like deep feelings.
no, and I had no sexual jealousy, so I was like, yeah, fuck whoever you want.
So a loving open relationship is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Like
I think that
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's very
it's
different.
Very, very
How could
different.
you not have some type of feeling, you know? Especially if you love somebody and then they're just getting.
Because that's almost like, hey, I really love this car, and then you just leave the keys and anybody can come drive it. It's like usually the things you love the most are the most sacred to you, and then you're trying to protect it and nurture it as much as you can. It's hard to be like, oh, I love this thing, but yeah, everyone take a drive.
Yeah, come on.
That's why usually when there's people like that in your life that end up in stuff like this, you kind of have to, if it's someone close to you, you can kind of see they grew up with a different definition of love.
That's true.
Something was different.
Very
Love was
true.
expressed differently in their household. Love was expressed differently growing up. It's never like your normal thing. So that's how they ended up arriving at like a more custom version.
That's true, because I know someone who probably wouldn't even mind being cheated on if they were a stable, good, like, husband. And then it's because of how she was raised and what was normal in her household, and her mom was like a side chick, and so like all those and then so like, yeah, she's in these very like weird relationships all the time, and I feel like she's desensitized, and very accepting of the very liberal, like, you know, ways of viewing sex. So like I think well, you know, in these open relationships, can you love multiple people simultaneously and give them all the same level of attention? Like, that's hard to do, right? So that's why I think the rest of us are constantly equating it to like sexually open. But some people will use that definition and go, open relationships means no, I can deeply care for and feel romantic.
And
for
maybe they
multiple
can.
people.
Maybe they can. I just can't relate to that.
Or maybe it's the environment that's dependent, right? Like, you know, you hear some people that have like a polygamy like household, and it's like 8 people that live in a house or something.
Sister wife stuff.
Yeah, like, and it's equal guys, whatever the setup is. I feel like because the environment of the whole community is like in on it, maybe
they're normal.
Yeah, maybe
And
that'll
we're
work.
conditioned that way.
Or
Yeah.
like lifestyle.
Yeah,
Like let's say like pre-Taika, if me and Joe are together, but then if like I'm on tour all the time, and then we also want to have like physical needs met, then we have this thing that's cool, but then we're still each other's person. I can totally see that.
yeah.
But then like I think for me personally, like once Taika's in the picture, like I love this dynamic so much. There's no way. But then
Yeah.
previously, like we've talked, like the similar topic before that has been brought up. I'm like, I could see ourselves maybe being open, like maybe later on, and being like physically open, or whatever. But once we had like Taika, and there's just so many other domino effect things that could happen.
Yeah.
It's just too
Too
Yeah,
risky.
If Nikki comes home and I know his cheek's been clapping around for somebody else, I think it's over for me. Eventually, my brain caves in, and then, like Nick Dunn, I think it's murder-suicide.
Murder, homicide, suicide.
Yeah.
You want to know
And I
the
take the cats with me, too.
you want to know a sick ass detail though? I think the couples that are doing this well and are having no problems, I don't think you'll ever hear about it
Yeah.
Why?
because
It's part of their
that's the way
identity.
It fucking works. The people that are trying to justify it to the world by going, "Hey, look at us, we're doing good,"
We're advice.
they're not doing good.
like virtue signaling their own way. Huh?
Exactly.
That's so true.
Because one of my really closest friends, she found out way later in life that her parents were like that.
Wow.
But it was
Way later.
It was quiet.
She was already fucking an adult. She's in her
Stealthy.
30s. She came home at the wrong time.
Oh shit.
And her parents were swinging. They had another couple over. And then her mom had to explain to her, like, honey, this is like our lifestyle. We've always kind of been this way.
Oh yeah, swinging
Whoa.
lifestyles.
And they're like some Orange County, like white bread, really, really great family.
What the fuck are they?
But they
First of all,
don't. They
what
just
are
don't
doing
talk
in the
about it.
living room? If you could just come home and be like, "This is weird." If I just see my parents with like 2 other parents,
Just fucking away.
yeah, it must be something like that.
With a spread, like a
Mommy was topless and some shit. Like that.
charcuterie board out. You're like, oh, it was a party, but they're fucking clapping cheeks in the master bedroom.
That does sound like some OC conservative, like they're so strict and
repressed
then-
shit.
yeah.
But they're not out there trying to advocate it. They're
Yeah.
they just do it, and
Mommy
it
was a
works.
rotisserie.
Probably because they don't publicize it to me.
Also, it seems like they're doing that experience together.
Exactly.
Instead of having an open relationship and you're individually going your separate ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an orgy.
To prove it to other people, that's like I think a bad sign.
That's like people with
I think that's
miserable.
with anything.
That's a bomb point.
That's like miserable relationships that need to compensate with big, expensive weddings.
Oh yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're overcompensating.
Dude, Kim K and Marion, what's his name, the basketball player,
Humphreys.
and then like divorced
Oh
in a
my
month.
God.
In a
Yes,
month,
yes.
they spent like $5 million, I think.
But they fucking made it back though. Because
Oh, yeah.
all the brand deals and
Oh, that's
sponsors.
right.
That shit was crazy.
Crazy,
Yeah.
But you know,
hanging on by a thread though.
So it's a no from you. Got it.
yeah.
It's like, dude, that is like the call center guy. Where like he's like, "Hello, I work for Best Buy," and then you're like, "Fuck you." He's like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." Like, that's you getting a Cinderella wedding, and then like you're divorced in a month. Same exact thing.
Bro, I think if Tip ever found out I was like sleeping around or doing something crazy, I think she would literally kill me.
Yeah,
I think she'll slit my fucking throat.
for sure.
I think the idea, if it all works out perfectly, seems fine, right? But then, like, you can't predict how both of you will react, and it's one of those things you can't change once you open that door.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. You can't restore it back
You
to
can't-
default settings.
It might be like
Restores default.
you imagine it being cool, and then you open it, and you're just like, "Fuck!" Now I just don't see you the same way, or you might run into a dangerous human being, and like, that's the thing. Is like it only takes one sociopath in your life to fucking ruin everything.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
How many stories did we cover on JK where the shit happens?
Yeah.
Every other time.
Yeah.
And then we say that should happen to them.
Yeah.
And imagine if, like, you get someone pregnant or your wife gets pregnant.
Or like STD.
STD, just...
Or just
Yeah, as the older you get, the more like the older you get, the more fucking
More reasons to not do it.
well, there's like extra shit. So like, let's say I had an extra girl on the side and it gets serious. I'm like, hey, can we add her to our insurance premium? You just got like, you're just old.
bro.
You have like all kinds of weird shit.
it's a lot.
But what are the limitations to
I know.
improving that relationship?
There's a third person I want to add to our car registration because they drive it sometimes.
But you know when you hear stories about
like, what the fuck?
you hear stories about a guy that has like 2 other families.
Oh, that's fucking
Like
crazy.
that blows my mind, right? Because it's like, how do they do
My
it?
uncle convinced my mom that my dad had 2 families like years ago. My uncle can convince my mom anything because it's her brother, and like it doesn't take him long. And my mom was fully fucking convinced one
Like
day.
serious, or was he like joking?
Dead serious.
What are the signs?
He was serious. Like he really.
I think if he was fucking around, I mean, he's a master troll.
Does he hate your dad or something?
Yeah, him and my dad have like a fucking thing.
shit. They have a.
Dude, Hannah's great grandpa.
Really?
They have family in America.
What the
Because they worked in shipping. So, and then he was a traveling like pastor and shit. So like he had a family out there in Wales, and then when he came to the States, he had another one here in Utah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then they did a 23andMe and all that. They were just like, we have family out there, and then like I guess they all reached out on like Facebook and whatever.
See, that makes swinging look like easy mode.
Yeah.
Family?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough, bro.
The other
Playing 2
shit.
versions of Diablo at the same time.
That is crazy.
That's exactly what that's like.
and then like trying to do that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing about Nikki is she knows how to push my buttons like nobody else on the earth. And if I cheated on her or something fucked up like that, I know exactly what she would do to me, and it would fucking actually melt my soul. I could actually cry right now thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, she would. Dude, you know what she would do? She wouldn't even like. She would be mad at me, but that's not what she would come at me with.
Oh.
No, that's too simple. It's too easy.
It's a long game.
She's like fucking Dexter, dude. she would hit me with the like disappointed, like I'm gonna be okay, but like man, I loved you so much.
Oh, god damn, dude.
Ooh.
That hurts way more than blowing up and like calling.
Yeah.
It's hurting me. It's not even
How
a
do you-
relationship.
More because then you just sit with it and you're just
It's like I'm the
We all
guy. I'm the
felt
guy.
it, dude.
I'm the guy sitting in my shit and piss.
yep.
Yep.
That's all
You got nothing to show for it too, right?
Nothing to show for it. What I get? A blowy.
Yeah.
A sad blowy because I was so scared and sad.
Took forever too because you couldn't get hard.
Ever. No, couldn't even stay hard.
That's why, man, you gotta watch out. Like for girls, they gotta really find that red flag when a dude starts to kind of push it. Because I've seen it pushed in the fashion of like, like some girls think other girls are cute, and then their dude's gonna go, "Oh, you think she's cute? You think she's hot?" And then they try to push this like
bro.
almost bisexuality into you
I don't think that works, bro.
as a gateway to getting him. Dude, that's a fucking thing.
Thing.
I've heard it on that side. I've heard it on the guy's side. It's gross.
What do they
bro.
do it for? You think?
What do they what?
What do they do it for? What are
They do
doing?
it to get the pass eventually passed to them. So they'd be like, "Oh, babe, you think she's hot? Why don't you just experiment, try it out, you know?" And then that way, there's leverage to go. All right, now my turn. Like, why don't I have sex with her now? It's fucking disgusting, and it does work that way. And it has worked because you know why? Some partners just want to make them happy.
Yeah, they'll do anything to do.
And they might be a little gay curious.
We all are a little gay curious.
Everyone's gay
We just haven't
curious.
tried to be.
Joe, everyone's gay curious.
That's
Just
the
admit it, Joe.
You said that we had to be to work here.
Yeah. That was a prereq. That's why I'm here.
You said good to prove it. That's why we don't have HR.
My conversations are way more boring. It's like, did you see ribeyes are on sale at Albertsons? Should we go there?
Internet can turn that into a toxic statement, though.
That is toxic, actually. Nothing's hurting the earth more than me, Bart. Nothing.